I do believe the Torah is from God. That is not specifically the topic of the evening. The topic is how the Torah has transformed the world. They're related. A divine book is more likely to transform the world than just another book. I don't know of any other book that has done as much transforming as this has. But I do want you to know that I am somewhat of an anomaly in Jewish life. In some ways, in a number of ways, this is perhaps the most distinctive. That like the Orthodox, I believe the Torah is from God. Unlike the Orthodox, I don't believe that oral law is from God. That's what makes me non-Orthodox. So the second great lesson from the Torah is that the human being is sacrosanct. Image of God doesn't mean good, means two things. That we have infinite value because we're in God's image, and that like God, unlike animals, we have moral freedom. With all respect to your beloved dogs and cats, they don't have moral freedom. If you think your dog is kind, that's very sweet. And I'm not here to disabuse you of that belief. I think my dog is kind too, and but that's when I just want to emote. When I actually want to think, I realize that the Nazis' German shepherds in Auschwitz were not cruel. They were doing what they do out of instinct, and your dog does what it does out of instinct. And every other animal. That's why animals can't be blamed for what they do. And I don't know, you could praise them if you like, but we, like God, have moral freedom. We know good and evil. No animal says, you know, I really do want that bone. But I fully recognize that other dogs want that bone. And I really am well fed at the Schwartz's. And so this dog that looks a little scrawnier than I should really have a chance at that bone. No dog in history ever thought that. So we have moral freedom and they don't. So that was number two, that the human being is infinitely valuable. Each human is created in God's image, and that each human being has moral free will. Number three, the Torah, I believe, emphasizes more than any other thing that what matters most is goodness. Good and evil is the preoccupation of the Torah and indeed of the rest of the Hebrew Bible. It is more important than any other single thing. The Torah and the Old Testament are preoccupied with good and evil. The prophets, as you know, they're just absolutely preoccupied with justice and decency and so on. And the Torah is unbelievable, and it begins, I mean, just to give you one out of any number of examples, every culture that we know of had a flood narrative. And so does the Torah. The flood and Noah is saved. The only narrative that I am aware of, and I think that we humans are aware of, where the one that the gods picked, in our case the God, but other cases the gods picked, the only one where the only reason is the person's goodness is the Torah's narrative. Ish tzaddik tamim haya b'dorotav, that Noah was a righteous man in his generation.